Okay, make sure you pay attention to the video and listen all the way through because it's going to go by quick. Multiplication word problems, here we go. Go ahead and pause your video, please, and read the problem. Push play to resume when you're ready to go. Okay, the key to multiplication is to look for that per word. And then there's 3 strategies that we're going to use in order to solve these multiplication word problems. So first, let's take note that we're diving down. So diving down is obviously going to be a negative answer. Okay, so the first strategy that we can use is to set up a proportion. So notice that the two numbers, 8 inches and 1 second, is mentioned in the first problem. Go ahead and make that as a fraction, okay? So we have 8 inches to 1 second right here. So the two numbers in the first sentence you're going to use to create the numerator and the denominator. So then your second fraction, of course, 1 is going to be the missing value, which is taking place here with the x, the variable. But then the second number, or I'm sorry, the second number in the second fraction is actually the other number that's given. But you have to make sure that if you notice, you have seconds to seconds on the bottom. Therefore, inches are on the top. So here, if we know anything about proportions, you can see that 1 times 16 is going to be 16, but you do the same to the top. So you're going to take 8 times 16, which is 128. Now, you just have to remember that it's going to have a negative outcome because the turtle is diving down. So the turtle is going to have a negative 128 inches location. A second option is to fill out a table. So you're going to represent every second that the turtle is diving. But you have to remember that it's going to be negative 8, every single second. So in 2 seconds, it's going to be negative 16. 3 seconds, negative 24. Let's go ahead and finish the pattern. So here you can see that every second the turtle dives, it's going deeper 8 more inches. So in order to write an expression, you have to realize what the two numbers are that you multiplied together. So you actually multiplied negative 8 because it's going down negative 8 inches every single second. And then you ended up multiplying that to 16 seconds to get your answer. Okay, number 2. Go ahead and pause your video and read the question. Press play to resume. In the strategy of setting up your proportion, I already set up the first fraction for you by using the first 2 numbers in the first sentence. I want you to pause your video and write down what you think would be the second fraction using the other known factor and the missing factor, which would be your variable. So if you put the 9 hours in there, make sure you line it up with notice that the hours are on the bottom, so the 9 hours should be on the bottom. Your x variable, we have to find the amount of degrees in which it decreased. So the x would be on top. Now go ahead. We know that 1 times 9 gets 9, so I'm going to multiply 4 times 9 to get x. 4 times 9 is 36 degrees. So remember, it decreases. Therefore, it has to be a negative 36 degrees. So let's jump down to the table. We know that every hour it drops negative 4 degrees. Try your best to pause the video and fill out the rest of the table. Okay, you should have gotten the following numbers when you filled out and completed the table just by looking at the pattern. Now you realize that in order to get to 9 hours, you had to multiply by the negative 4. So for the third strategy, writing an expression and just solving the multiplication problem, you multiplied negative 4 times 9. Go ahead and complete problems 3 and 4 on your own. Check the answer key with your teacher when you are done.